in. Just realised I haven't got my headphones in. Right, I'm going to pop them in. Let's see if they're connected. There we go. Let's see. Hopefully they will. Hopefully. Oh, here we go. We're connected. We're connected. We're connected. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, Tony. Hello, my lovely. Thank you so much for being here with me this morning. It is great to have you. I hope you are well. Yes. So, guys, I've got loads to tell you about. Absolutely loads. So, we'll get into it in a few minutes. I've got my little notebook here with all the things I want to talk to you about and tell you and update you. And yeah, good morning, Horatio. Hello, my lovely. Hello, my lovely. Great to have you here with me this morning. I hope you're well. So I've got a couple of people in with me already, which is fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here this morning. So I've got my cup of tea. I've got my Mickey Mouse mug. And my tea's gone a little bit cold, so I'm going to just quickly down it. And then I've got a bottle of water in front of me, because you know me, chatting is thirsty work, very thirsty work. So guys, good morning. Thank you so much for being here. Let me just get comfy. I'm not comfy. Let me just, excuse me. Just get a cushion. There we go. Oh, that's much better. Much better. Oh, you know, you've got to be comfy when you're having a bit of a chin wag. So, how are you, everybody? I hope you're well. So, guys, let's tell you. So today I've got 3 questions that I'm going to answer for you. 3 fantastic questions that I've had in. And they came in separately, but I thought I would just answer them collectively on this live stream because they're interrelated. So yeah, so do stay tuned for that, guys. Do stay tuned. But in the meantime, oh, sorry, I'm not very organised today. Yeah, not very organised. But in the meantime, we're going to have a bit of a chin wag as usual. So guys, if you're enjoying these live sessions, give this video a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. Because this is now week 5 that we've done these live streams on a Sunday morning, and I'll be totally honest, I'm really enjoying them. I'm really enjoying having you guys to talk to on a Sunday morning. So give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying them and you'd like them to continue. So as far as I'm concerned, as long as I'm free on the Sunday morning, then I'll do the live streams. And as long as you obviously are enjoying them and you want them, I'll continue doing them. So yeah, so as usual, the format for these sessions is we start off with a bit of a chin wag, bit of a catch up on how the week has gone, and then and I've got loads to tell you, loads, and then what we do is usually about 20 minutes in is what I aim for. Doesn't always work, but about 20 minutes in, then I get into the main topic. And as I said, I've got 3 questions that I'm going to answer today. Really, really good questions. And then what I do is I download the live stream, and then I cut out all of this chit chat, the woolly stuff, etc. And then I upload, you know, the bulk of the content as a video. And I've got some that are scheduled. So yeah, so it's just extra content. And last week as I was doing this chitty chatty bit, I had an excellent question. I think it was either from Claire or Amanda. Excellent question. So what I did, I cropped that bit, edited that bit, and I've uploaded the question just as it's a 2.5 minute video on my channel, and it's about losing weight. Should we aim to lose weight before we go on holiday? So if you've not seen that, like that video, because it's got less than 40 likes, please just take 3 minutes out of your day and just watch that for me. I'd really appreciate that. YouTube is a really strange beast. It really is. You never know what videos are going to connect with people, and sometimes the videos that you think are going to do really well don't, and the videos that you think are not going to do well, they do really well. So I've got a video on my channel. It's my highest viewing video. It's called Manjaro, the Manjaro recipe, and I just put it out there because I'd made the recipe, and I thought, oh, nobody's going to be interested in this, and I just put it out there. And the first week it didn't do very well, and I thought, yeah, that's about right. 4 months later, it's my highest viewing video. I've got nearly 19,000 views on it. I know. It's really strange. And then videos that you think are gonna do well because it relates to my community and the topic, don't necessarily. So guys, do me a favour. If you see any videos that have got low views, just give it a little watch. Even if you just play it in the background, that would really help me out. So guys, good morning. I've got a few more people with me today. Thank you so much for being here with me. So, as you know, I ended up in hospital. I know. What am I like? Oh my days. So, I was playing with my grandkids. We'd gone to the park and we were playing, and I fell over, and my foot went on the ball, and the ball was continued to roll, and my foot was trying to stop the ball, and I fell over. Yeah. And so thanks Tony, very encouraging. Thank you, my lovely. Thank you. Not the falling over bit, I'm sure that's what you didn't mean, but yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to stop this ball, and I fell over, and I could see the fall happening. I could see it. It was almost slow motion, and I put my arm out to so I wouldn't land on my face, because didn't want to damage the face. Obviously, didn't want to damage the face and the glasses. Do you like the glasses? These are my new glasses. Do you like them? They're like this turtle. Yeah, this mottled turtle look there, and then they're green. Do you like them? I love the shape of them. I was toying with buying them for the longest time, but on the model, they looked really narrow, so I didn't buy. And then I thought, just get them, and I'm so glad I got them, because I absolutely love them. Okay, I'm terrible with glasses. I counted up. I've got 15 pairs of glasses. Bit of an obsession going on. 15 pairs. Thank you, Horatio. Thank you, my lovely. Thank you. Glad you like my glasses. Yeah, I've got 15 pairs, and there's a website that I buy my glasses from. I will drop some links. In fact, what I might do a video of me wearing all my glasses. Yeah, thank you, Tony. You love my glasses. Yeah, I've got loads, absolutely loads. And what I might do is do a video wearing all my different glasses. But yeah, so what I do is I go to Specsavers, got my prescription, and then they are prescription. Yeah, these are my reading glasses. And they are prescription. I've got loads over just over it, and I've got loads in the drawer behind me. So they're prescription. So I go to Specsavers and I get my prescription, because you're entitled to that. Wherever you get your eye tested, you're entitled to your prescription. So they give you your prescription. Thank you, Tony. Very sophisticated. Thank you. And so I go take my prescription. I'll go online to this this website. There's loads of websites out there now, guys, that you can get prescription glasses. Absolutely loads. But this particular one, I will drop a link. So you can go over and get yourself a discount and have a little look, and if you decide to buy, you can get a discount. So what you do is you choose your frames, right? You choose your frames, and then you enter your prescription in. And the first time you order, it probably takes about 10 days to come. But now that I've ordered loads of times, it takes about a week, just under a week. And let me tell you guys, I've used to wear my Marc Jacob glasses from Specsavers, and those cost me, with my prescription lenses, 200 quid. 200 quid. Not anymore. These frames, let me tell you, these frames, excellent quality, really good quality, cost me £5.14. I know, £5.14 from with this place that I'm going to drop a link to. And with my reading prescription, right, they cost me 11 quid, just 11 quid and change. So I got, let me see if I can reach it for you. So with the, I bought 3 pairs of glasses. See what's in this box. 3 pairs of glasses, reading glasses, and they cost me, I think it was 32 quid. I know. 3 pairs. So this is the 1 pair that I've got. They came this week. This is my other pair. Now I do have another pair. I think it's in the drawer behind me. I do have another pair that are very similar. You will have seen me in them, and instead of this being beige, it's red. It's red, and this, you got the leopard print. These exactly the same. Again, 11 quid with the prescription. And then my third pair, these are the that I've just ordered. They've just arrived this week. And then this pair. And let me get out. Oh, I'll tell you about what happened the other day. And these ones, you can see they're sort of plain here, and then they're like a colour, like purple. There you go. You can see that there. It's purple, and it's all on the arms as well. And these ones again was 11 quid. So I've got these 3 pairs. These are all reading ones for 11 quid. Each 32 quid roughly I paid. Okay, now my distance, right, so when I'm seeing distance, you'll have seen me in these ones a lot. These ones, the frames again was £5. No, this particular frame was £7 and change, because the cheapest ones they do is £5, and then they go up in price. But what I've noticed is that these ones 2 weeks ago were something like £18, and then they dropped them to a £5, exactly the same. And then they've gone, the red ones I bought at a £5, and they've gone back up to 25 quid or something like that. So they do vary the price. So being cost effective, I just buy them when they're £5 and change, because same thing, isn't it? But these ones, these were £11, the frames. No, they weren't. I bought them when they were £7. Last week they came down to £5. So I was okay with that. But with my prescription lenses, and they are reactive. So when I go out in the sunshine, they go darker. And then when I'm inside, they're lighter. 25 quid. I know. I know. I know. I know. Crazy prices. So every day I'm like, which glasses shall I put on today? Which ones? That's my dilemma, is which glasses to wear. So I've got lots of different colours, lots of different styles, and I pair them depending on what I'm wearing. I know, luxury. So yeah, so I've got loads, 15 pairs altogether. But I will drop a link under this, and and also in the description box if ever you want to check it out. And oh, here you go. Here's my red ones. These are my red ones. You've seen me in these before. These ones were £5 and changed the frames, and now it's gone up to, I think it's 18 quid, something like that. So I just buy it when it comes down to £5 on like an offer. Yeah, I know. So yeah, so there you go. Glasses. Anyway, let me tell you what happened. So I'm out and I'm playing with the kids because I was looking after them on Thursday, and we were playing football in like the park on the concrete, and I'm trying to stop the ball, and I put my foot on the ball to stop it, and the ball just kept rolling, and I could feel myself falling, so I put my arm out to like brace myself. Wasn't good. The pain that ripped through my arm and through my knee was just, oh my goodness, knocked me glasses off. Not these glasses, my other ones. Knocked my glasses off, but missed the face. Yeah, missed the face. Oh, okay. Didn't want my face being bashed up. So I know I'm vain. I know, tell me I'm vain. I know. So so I'm lying there, and my grandson, our 8-year-old grandson, runs over. Nanny, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I will be. And then 2 really sweet kids who were playing in the park, probably around the age of 10, 11. They were so sweet. They came running over and they said, are you okay? Do you need any help? And I looked at that and I thought, how sweet that these 2 young kids don't know who they are, right? Never seen them before, were concerned. And I thought, that's really nice. And you know, I'm trying to style it out. I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. This time I couldn't even talk with the pain. Anyway, my 4-year-old, bless him, he runs over and he's like, Nanny, are you okay? And I goes, yeah, I will be. So, and his brother's going, Nanny's just fallen over and she's hurt herself. And then after a while, I was like, you know, breathing. I managed to sit up on the floor, and my grandson says, Nanny, are you feeling better? I says, yeah, I will be in a minute. He says, oh, good. You could be the referee now. Come on, Nanny, let's go and play. And I was like, grandson, Nanny can't even stand up, never mind play. But it just made me smile and made me laugh, like his innocence. Children are so innocent. And yeah, so anyway, sat on the ground for about half an hour. I just couldn't move because of the pain, and I couldn't move my arm, couldn't move it. And anyway, I managed to stand up, and I thought, my son's at work, my daughter-in-law's at work, and I'm in charge of the children. So luckily we were not far from home, so managed to get home. And I just said to the kids, you go play. Nanny's got to lie here on the sofa. She needs to recover. Anyway, when my son came, I said to him, you know, I don't know whether to go up to the hospital because I can't move my arm, and I don't know whether I've broken it. and but I had movement in my hand, and it was, you know, I hadn't lost movement there. So I toyed with the idea, and then I got home. He saw me home, and then I just went to bed. And as I'm lying in bed, the pain was just unbearable. Now, I live with pain every day because of my health condition. I live with pain, and I've learned how to breathe through the pain and how to tough it out. You know, I've lived with pain as early as I can remember. You know, being a child, I was a child when I was about 8 or 9 when I was diagnosed with juvenile arthritis. So I've always lived with pain. I've never known a day without pain. So you develop coping mechanisms. So because I live with pain, when you are at the point when this pain is unbearable, I know something's wrong. I know something's wrong. So I thought, I'm gonna go and have a bath and see how I feel. Anyway, I had a bath, got in the bath, couldn't get out of the bath, couldn't get out, and I had to get out. So oh my days, I came out of the bath, and my friend called me as I was getting out of the bath, and he thought I was like playing up, and I was like, I ain't playing. I am not playing. I am, honestly, I can't begin to describe the pain. Can't begin to describe it. And he knows that I don't complain about pain a lot because I live with it every day. So I said, let me call you back, because I just needed to get my breath. I needed to get my breath because this pain had just knocked me out. I couldn't get my breath. So I got my breath. I called him back after about half an hour. And then I says, I'm going up the hospital. I'm going up the hospital. He said, I'll come with you. He said, give me an hour and I'll pick you up. I thought, well, that's really kind. So, but whilst I was waiting for him, I thought, do you know what? Let me call 9111. I was going to say 911 then. No, that's America, Angela. I was going to call I called 111, and they take you through this whole assessment. And the operator said, yeah, he said, I've just taken some advice and we need to see you. We need to see you. So he gave me a choice of hospitals. So I thought, we've got a brand new hospital in Birmingham. So I thought, I'll go there. I thought, it's bigger, they've got more resources, and I'm likely to be seen quicker. Well, how wrong was I? He said at the time, he said, it's high capacity, which means that it's quiet. And he said, the reports are coming through that it's unusually quiet at this time. So I phoned my friend. I says, I'm getting an Uber up to the hospital. So I got up to the hospital. Let me tell you, I walked into this hospital, and it was, well, when my friend arrived, he described it as a war zone. It looks like this is a war zone and there's loads of casualties. Honestly, it was heaving. It was heaving. There wasn't even any seats to sit down. I thought, is this high capacity? Is this what not busy looks like? Then I dread to think what it looks like when it's busy. So anyway, we sat there for checked in, sat there for about an hour, and my friend came up, and then I said to him, I'm going to be here for at least 4 hours, because there was a big notice that said the waiting time at this point is 4 hours. I says, you go home. I don't want you waiting with me for 4 hours. I'm absolutely fine. So he went home, he left, and about half an hour after he left, they called me, and I thought, oh, this is good. So I went into the triage, and then she assessed me, and then she said, the nurse said, we're going to put you into minors. I didn't know what minors was. Didn't know what it was. I was like, yeah, that's fine. Later discovered that they triage you into minors or majors. Majors is major emergency, need to be seen quickly. Minors is you're not a priority. We'll get to you when we get to you. I was like, okay. So I'm sat there, and I checked in at 9 o'clock, and by at 2 o'clock I went to see them, and I was like, well, I've been waiting 4 hours. They said it was 4 hours. She goes, oh no, it's now 6 hour wait. I was like, 6 hours? She goes, yeah, you've got another 2.5 hours to wait. I thought, Lord have mercy. So I said to her, well, if I go home and come back, she says, you'll lose your place in the queue. You'll have to start again. I thought, well, I ain't doing that. I'll just sit and wait the next 2 hours. Anyway, come 4:30, that was when I should have been seen, but I hadn't been called. So 5 o'clock, I went back to the desk. I says, when am I going to be called? And she says, it's a 9-hour wait. I says, 9 hours? You told me 4 hours, then 6 hours. She goes, yes, but the wait times vary throughout the morning, throughout the day. Just depends how busy they are. I was like, she says, so you've still got another couple of hours. I was ready to cry. Let me tell you, I was ready to cry. I was tired. I wanted to sleep. I was in pain. I'm sat on the chair. I was cold because of the aircon. I was not happy. So I says to her, I says, okay, can I get a blanket? She goes, so nurse goes, get me a blanket. There's no blanket. She says, you can have a couple of sheets. Okay, I'll take 2 sheets. Can I get a cup of tea? Because the machine's not working. She goes, yes, somebody will bring you a cup of tea. And then she said, have you had any pain relief? I says, no. She said, I'll bring you some. So I thought, Angela, just ride it out. Because when I was sat there in minors, there was loads of people going into majors. There was loads of police officers bringing people in. There was ambulances pulling up with emergencies. And and I sat and I looked at that and I thought, you know what, Angela, be grateful that you've got access to the NHS. And I know it's got a lot of issues, we all know that, but let me tell you, I highly rate the NHS here in the UK. It's got a lot of problems, but it's free healthcare. I say free, we still pay for it, but you don't have to pull out your cash or your insurance policy if you need that treatment. And yeah, the waiting times are long, but you are going to be seen and you're going to get the best available treatment. So for me, I highly rate the NHS. I really do. It's got problems, but it is what it is. And without the NHS, I wouldn't be here, as simple as that, because having been so ill over the years. So I take my hat off. So I sat there and I thought, Angela, be grateful, humble yourself and be grateful. You're waiting 9 hours, but some people in that time have died or have had to have emergency operations. They've been involved in car crashes, terrible accidents. You're not a priority. So yeah, I was just like, you know what, let me just sit back, humble myself, get on my social media, get it updated. There's a few things I can do whilst I'm sat there. Anyway, the doctor called me in, and I didn't know she was the doctor. And I says, oh, how long? Because what I didn't want was to be called into another cubicle and then have to wait. And I says, oh, how long is it before I see a doctor? She says, I'm the doctor. I was like, oh, thank the Lord. So she checked me over and she said, my knee, right, I couldn't bend my knee, couldn't walk on my knee. She examined my knee. She said, it's not broken, but where I was showing her where the pain was, she says, that's your tendons and the ligaments. She says, you've just bruised and damaged those, because the way I felt, I thought, she says, you're going to be fine in 2 or 3 days. Then my arm, so with this arm, if I can show you, I can straighten that arm, no problem. this is the arm that I fell on, and I can't straighten it. I can straighten it better, but this is as far as I can straighten it, and it hurts. If I was to go any further, it really hurts. So she examined it and she says, I don't think there's anything broken, but I think, she says, I think it's all tendons and ligaments that have been overstretched. So she sent me off for an x-ray, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, I'm going to be here for ages waiting for an x-ray. I wasn't. As I got there, it was empty. There's nobody there. So I checked in. He said, take a seat. As soon as my bum hit the seat, he said, he called me in, he did me x-ray, and then set me back down. So no wait time at all. Got back to the waiting area, and then within 10 minutes, doctor called me back in, and she said, good news, nothing's broken. But as suspected, she says, you've just damaged the ligaments in the fall, because she says, as I've gone to brace myself, my arm's gone up and it's like twisted, all of that. Now, bear in mind, this is the shoulder. I fell in January, and I'm trips and falls. I know. I fell in January, and I tore the muscle in this shoulder, so I'm having physio and treatment for this shoulder, and now I've gone and damaged this arm, and the pain starts from right up here all the way down to my wrist area, but it's centered around this elbow and in here. So long and short of it, I'll live. So I've just been on painkillers and just resting. It is getting better, but it's like, you know, when you do something suddenly or you move suddenly, it catches you, you know. So yeah, so I am a lot better, but yeah, really grateful to NHS and the doctor. You could tell they were just so stressed, so tired, you know, really tired. She'd been on the shift all night, and there's loads of people saying, oh, there was one bloke, he was like, I've been sat here for 11 hours. I was like, yeah, I know how it feels, mate. I know how it feels. So yeah, so that was that. But, you know, I'm here, recovering. And because I lost a lot of sleep, I've been sleeping a lot, just trying to catch up on that sleep, but resting. But yeah, so all's good. But thank you so much to everybody who sent me lovely messages and was concerned for me. But yeah, I'm good. So a couple of things I want to mention before I get into the main topic. I've got 3 questions that I'm going to answer for you. Got my little notebook here. So our membership, our channel membership. Wow. We did our very first virtual meetup on Wednesday. Yeah, on Wednesday. And I don't know about you guys. I know some of you here were on it. I hope you enjoyed it, because I know I did. I know I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. And what I've done is I've downloaded the Zoom and uploaded it as a video, and that'll stay there. So, you know, if you're part of the membership, you'll always have access to it. Some really fantastic conversations. And what I love about our virtual meetup is you, the member, can share your comments, your questions about anything that you want and get that support. Whereas on a live stream, you drop your comments, and if there is a level of, with video, there's no interaction. With live stream, you get some interaction, but with a Zoom, loads of interaction. And I loved it. So guys, we're going to be planning our next virtual meetup. So if you'd like to be part of our community, come and join us. There's 2 levels of membership, $1.99 a month and $4.99 a month. And to join the virtual meetup, you need to join at the gold level, which is $4.99 a month. And then throughout the month, you're going to get, you know, different posts and shorts and videos as well. So do come and join us. We'd love to have you. Got a holiday coming up in a couple of weeks. So I've just been stepping up my activity, just been walking more. I've got my weights, not that I'm able to do anything with this arm, and my resistant band. But since Thursday, I've not been able to lift any weights or use the resistant band or to walk because of my knee. But now that my knee is better, I'm going to get out for a walk a little bit later today. So just stepping that up, so because I want to feel toned for my holiday. And yeah, autumn's here, nearly here. Have you noticed, guys, the nights are drawing in, there's a chill in the air, and when you go to the shops, it's all the autumn stuff in the shops. I know, what's that all about? All the Halloween and the pumpkins, and what's that all about? Please, you know, we're still seeing the sunshine. You know, I like the autumn decor, but I'm a summer girl. I love the sunshine, I love the warm weather, I love the long days. I don't like the autumn and the winter. No, so that really does affects me. Anyway, guys, that being said, let's get into our topic. We've had a bit of a chit chat, and now we're going to get into our topic. What I will do is I will upload the going forward. So what I do is I take the live stream, I chop it up, and all this chitty chatty stuff that I've just done, I discard, and then moving forward, what I tend to do is just upload the main topic as a video. So feel free to drop your questions in the chat. Please let me know that you're still with me. Somebody please drop a comment, because I haven't had any comments come through for a little while. Yeah, if somebody can drop a comment, let me know that you're still here, you can still see me, and then we'll get straight into it. Yeah, so our topic. So I was asked 3 questions, 3 absolutely great questions, and I love it when you guys drop questions for me. Absolutely love it. Because one, it shows that you really are interested in the weight loss journey, and secondly, I can share my experience. So yeah, you know, I love it. So feel free to drop your comments in the chat box here, or on a video, send it via messenger, or direct message, or email me. Yeah, just reach out to me and send me your questions. So I've had 3 questions, so I'm going to start again, and I'm going to do this as if I'm doing a video, so please excuse the formalities. So hi guys, thank you so much for joining me here today on this live stream video. So I've got 3 fantastic questions that I've been asked, and I'm going to pull them all together in this one video. And the first question I've asked, well, I've been asked these questions but in different formats. Thank you, Horatio. Thank you, my lovely. So I've been asked these questions in different formats, but essentially I've pulled them together, and the questions is around taking photos on a weight loss journey. Is that something we should do, and how valuable is it? Should we take measurements as well? Should we do that? How often should we take our measurements? And also, how often should we weigh ourselves? So I'm going to break those questions down for you and give you my perspective as a weight loss coach. I'm also a menopause coach, and also as somebody who's lived the journey, because to date I've lost 173 pounds. I haven't weighed this week, and the reason being is I'm carrying fluid, excess fluid, because of my fall. So I know that the results are going to be skewed. The results are going to be at least 2 or 3 pounds heavier. So I just thought I'll wait until I'm feeling better, my mindset is in a better place, and then I will weigh myself. So yeah, but generally about 173 pounds in weight I've lost. So I'm going to break these questions down for you guys, and So I'm going to break this. So Tony, you weigh yourself every morning because you have. Okay, fine. And that's absolutely fine, my lovely. So I'm going to come back to weighing ourselves. But first question I'm going to tackle is, should I take photos on my journey? So I'd love to know, guys, what do you do? Drop a comment in the comment box and let me know, do you take photos? And if you do, how does it help you on your journey? So my only regret, well, I've got a few regrets, but one of my few regrets on my weight loss journey is that I didn't take enough photographs at the top of my journey when I was heavier. Even before I started my weight loss journey, I never took photographs. I was always hiding, always. Good morning, Claire. Good morning, my lovely. Great to have you with us today. And thank you so much for the compliments. Thank you, my darling. So when I was at my absolute heaviest, I didn't take photographs. I would take photographs of my family, my friends, of the surroundings, but I wouldn't take any. I never wanted to be in the photograph. And if I was forced to, if I had to, I would always hide. I'd hide behind somebody. And I look back now and I wish I had. Yeah, so Horatio's saying that you didn't take photographs either. Yeah. And a lot of people don't, and I get it. I get why. You know, I've been there. You know, we don't want to face the reality. We don't want to see ourselves. I get that. But I wish I had overcome that and just taken the photograph, or had somebody take a photograph of me and I would have just stored it on my phone, locked it away, never to look at it until now. So at my heaviest, I've got one photo of me at my heaviest, absolute heaviest, and I could still hear the comments I was getting at the time that photograph was taken, and I refused to take any more. But I wish I had. I really wish I had, because then I've got something to compare it to. So, and Tony, you haven't taken any photographs either. Yeah, I hear you. So the reason I wish I had taken more photographs, and the reason I encourage you to take photographs, even at where you are now, okay, is because it can be really powerful and motivating. And whilst a lot of people still track their progress using the scales don't, as we all know, it doesn't tell the whole story. It just doesn't. So when you take photographs, it provides visual proof that you're changing. And what we know is that, you know, that weight loss change can be really gradual. So somebody said to me only yesterday, my friend came over and she said to me, gosh, you're losing more weight. And my friend last Saturday, I went out for lunch with her last Saturday, and she was like, gosh, Angela, you lost more weight since I've seen you last. Now, because I look at myself in the mirror every day, I don't see that. I don't see that change. Yeah, I don't visually see it. But other people do, especially like if they haven't seen me for a couple of weeks. But when you take photographs, I've got that photograph of what I looked like last month or 2 months ago, and if I took another one today, I've got that by comparison. And weight loss is a very steady and gradual process, and if you've been with me before, you know it's taken me 6 years, 8 months to get to this point. So I might not see huge changes in a month, But over 6 months, over 10 months, over a 12-month program, you will see changes. So photographs provide a really clear record of your transformation, and they can show, you know, things like your posture, how your posture is changing, your muscle definition, and your overall body composition. And photographs can reveal things that the scales don't and can't. And even when you try your clothes on, yes, your clothes might fit better, but you may not necessarily see in your clothes that body composition, your muscle mass, etc. Now, the one thing that my friend commented on yesterday was this area, my collarbone and my neck. And we were comparing photographs. I was showing that some past photographs, and when I compared those past photographs, I could really see it. I could really see it in my neck and my collarbone, where I couldn't see it before. But when I looked at those photographs, I was like, even like a year ago, you know, I look at those photos and I'm like, oh my goodness, I could really, really see it. So, guys, take photographs. At one point, you know, back in the day, you used to take photos, used to get them developed, and then it sat in the photo album, and, you know, only you and people you chose to show it to would see it. Nowadays, people are sharing their photos with or without your permission. You know, if you take a group photo, somebody might share the photo on social media. So as whereas before 10 people used to see it in your photo album, now you've got 100,000 people seeing it, you know. So if you are in group photos and somebody likes to share, just say to them, please don't share that of me, please. Or, you know, ask them to take a photo that's not going to be shared, and then one that's, you know, that you're happy to be shared. So there's ways around that. So taking photos provides that visual proof, but it also can provide that motivation and, you know, that accountability. Because when we look at our photos of how we and where we were 6 months ago, 12 months ago, a year ago, it can help us to feel excited about moving forward, even when the scales isn't moving. Yeah, the scales cannot be shifting, but if we look back and think, actually, you know, I'm standing taller, I can see that muscle definition, I look trimmer in the face, you know, that can provide a source of motivation. But remember, guys, it can work the other way. Yeah, if we're seeing ourselves looking a bit plumper, a bit rounder in the face, a little bit tubbier, we might think, actually, I need to catch hold of this. I need to catch it before it develops. But by not taking photos and by not looking and comparing them, we could be missing out on a whole set of information that can really help us on the journey. And, you know, what, as I said, what we do know is that the scales fluctuate. They don't give us the full picture. We have things like water retention. I know that's something that I really struggle with. Water retention, hormonal changes, all of these factors. And if we're just relying on the number on the scale, it can really, especially if we're not seeing the scales move, it can be really demotivating. Yeah. So, you know, really think about taking photos, even if we don't want it shared with anybody, we just keep it for ourselves. Take the photos. I wish I had more photos. Now you can't keep me out of a photograph, you can't keep me out, but I wish I'd have had a lot more to start with. So here's a few tips if you want to take photos to measure your progress. Number one, wear similar type of clothes, because that's going to help you to see the change. So I've got a photo of me in me, it's the one that I commonly share of me in me like tankini and my shorts, Okay, now I've got my tankini, I've not thrown it away, and just before I go on my next holiday in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna put it on and take another photo, and then I can show you guys and for myself and see the progress. Yeah, so wearing similar clothes, you can see the progress. Yeah, I could see the fit, whether it was snug, whether it was tight, how I looked in it, and then comparing it to how I am today. So things like, you know, form-fitting jeans, form-fitting tops, swimwear, great way to measure your progress. But also other little tips is use the same location and lighting if possible, because the clearer the picture is, you're going to get a sharper, more defined image. So that can really make a difference for you to make that comparison over time. Another tip is take photos from different angles. I don't know if you've ever seen on Instagram where people take the photos front ways, sideways, and then back from the back. I think that's brilliant because you could see the progress in all those different areas. The side profile, you got the side profile, you got the back, and you know, you also see the shape as well, and then the front. I think that's brilliant. I will be honest, I've never done that because nobody deserves to see me in me all together or in my pants and bra on social media. Nobody deserves that. But for those people who've done it, good on you. Good on you is what I say. If you're brave enough to do that, good on you. So I'll probably when I'm on holiday next, I'll get my family or my friends to take a picture of me in those different lights. But they ain't going to be shared. They ain't going to be sharing them. So yeah, take it from different angles so you can see the different view of your body changing. Maintain good posture when you're doing it. Always just, you know, stand up straight, shoulders back, and this is going to give you a better representation of your body. And the other tip is take photos at the same time of day as well, because again, the different lighting is going to affect it. But also, if you take your starting photo in the morning on an empty stomach, and then 3 months later you take another photo, but at the end of the day when you've just eaten, then that may make a difference, especially if you're a bit bloated after you've just eaten. But also do it on a day where, so I suffer with a lot of inflammation, taking it on the day where I'm inflamed, that's not going to be good, because my face, you know, when my face, sometimes I look back at my videos and my pictures and I can see my face is rounder, it's fuller, it's puffier. That's because the inflammation. So I don't want to do it on that day. I want to do it on a day where I'm feeling my best. Yeah, so those are things to take into consideration. But yeah, definitely guys, take photographs of yourself on the journey. Even if you're on your own and you're just looking in a mirror and you're taking a photograph, do it. Take as much photographs. If you haven't got any photographs or many photographs of you in the past, take them from today. Start today. Take a load of photographs. Commit to taking photographs where you're at, whether you're thinking about starting your journey, whether you're on your journey. Maybe you've been on your journey and you know you're at a plateau, or maybe you've regained your weight. Doesn't matter. Take that photo today and then use it to help you progress down the road. So guys, that was the first area that I was asked about, taking photographs. Oh, the other point quickly, how often should we take photographs? I would say as often as you can, as often as you like. Yeah, but maybe if you're doing it for the purposes of your weight loss journey, maybe once a month. Take the photographs, and then yeah, a monthly photograph, and then just track that. But again, manage the expectation, because weight loss is so gradual, you ain't going to see, or most people are not going to see a massive change in the first month. Yeah, you might do, but for a lot of people you won't. But keep taking those photos, and then monitor that over 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 2 years, and you'll be surprised. And I'm sure you'll be really glad you started doing that. So yeah, I'd say maybe once a month for, you know, specific weight loss photos, and then you can just track that. So in line with that, taking the photos, the next question that I was asked was about taking measurements. Should we take our measurements on our weight loss journey, and how often? And again, yes, taking measurements is an absolutely fantastic and highly recommended practice for, you know, when you're on your weight loss journey, because again, like photographs, it's going to provide you information that you just can't get from the scales. So what we know is that with the scales, it will fluctuate. Yeah, water, you know, if like me, I'm swollen at the moment, whether you've eaten or drank anything, all of these different times a year, all of these things will make a difference to our weight fluctuating. However, when you're measuring fat loss, measurements, absolutely key, absolutely key. So especially if you're moving your body, you're doing some activity, you might be walking more, using resistant bands, going for a run, in and out of the gym. If you're active, you're going to see changes in your body that are not going to be reflected on the scales. So really important that you take those measurements. What we know is that muscle is much denser than fat, and sometimes we're looking for that change on the scale and we might not see it, and for so many people they get disappointed and give up. But if we're taking our measurements, it might show that actually we're losing inches. It'll show that we're firming up, turning up, we're building muscle. Our muscle in our legs, in our arms, it may be getting bigger and getting stronger. Our shape is changing. So when we take our measurements, it's going to reflect that. So it's going to provide that really objective data. Yeah, we can't argue with that data. And funnily enough, when I'm weighing myself, if I put my scales in different places on the floor, I'm going to get different readings. I don't know if you're like that. I don't know if that happens to you, but I'm going to get different readings. But when I take my measurements, as long as I'm doing it again, same time of the day, right? So I like to measure first thing in the morning, then I'm going to get the same results. I'm going to get an accurate result. So yeah, it gives you that very specific and objective data. And seeing those inches or the centimeters, you're seeing those measurement change is going to be a great motivator. But also likewise, if we see those results, those inches, those centimeters increase, we need to stop and think, is it because I'm building muscle? And you'll be able to answer that honestly if you've been moving, exercising, working out, you'll know that. But if you know that you haven't, if you know you haven't been working out and those measurements are increasing, that's another indicator you need to do something about that. Yeah, it'll give you that data, that information, because it means you're getting bigger. Yeah. So yeah, really important. And also the other key factor is that when we take our measurements, it can be a really good indicator as to what's happening with our health. So I've mentioned many times before that I'm type 2 diabetic. I carry a lot of fat on my belly. It's called visceral fat. It's the most dangerous fat that you can carry on your body because the fat is surrounding your internal organs, and it's linked, this visceral fat, it's linked to risk of heart disease and other health issues. So track, and also if you're not diabetic, if you've got a large waist circumference, that can be an indicator of potential pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes. And do remember, get professional advice because I'm not medically trained. So when you're taking those measurements around the middle, if you see that your middle, those centimeters or inches are decreasing, that's definitely a positive thing, because it shows that you're losing fat. You're not just losing weight, but you're losing fat, and fat off that really important area, that visceral fat. So taking those measurements, really, really important. So a few tips to get the most reliable results. Consistency is key. So number one, use something that you can take your measurements by. So a tape measure or a piece of string, or a cloth, something like that, that you can mark and get an indication from. Measure at the same time of day, just like we're taking those photographs. Maybe first thing in the morning before you eat and drink is often the best time, because again, you're not going to have that bloating or extended tummy because you've eaten and drank. Also, wear the same clothing or go in the all together, so that you can get the best measurements possible. And also something that, see, when I take my measurements, I like to wear my my yoga pants, because I can get the tape measure around my waist quite easily, whereas if I do it on bare skin, it's sticking and it's clammy and it's not so easy. So I do like to do it in my yoga pants. And always measure in the same spot as well. Yeah, in the same spot, so that you're going to get real consistency with your measurements as well. So where should we measure? Well, you can measure whichever part of the body you like, but typically the waist is a really good place to measure, and go for the narrowest part of your body, which in some people, and I'm stressing, some people, is just around the belly button, okay, just above the belly button. My narrowest part of my waist is quite a few inches above my belly button, so that's where I measure. I measure my thinnest part, which is a few inches above. If I was to measure around the belly button, that's definitely not my thinnest part. So go for a part of your body that you're happy with, but keep measuring that area. Don't 1 week go for, so for example, I couldn't 1 week measure around my thickest part, which is around on top of my belly button, and then 2 weeks later go for the thinnest part, which is couple of inches, because that's going to give me a big differential, which isn't accurate. So always go for the same spot. Next key area is your hips. So the widest part of your hips and your bum, go for that. And again, make sure that you're hitting that same spot. Then also another key area is your chest. So for men, measure your chest. For women, the fullest part of your bust tends to be key. Now, those are the 3 areas that I tend to measure: waist, hips, and bust. And that's out of personal choice. But other key areas could be your arms. So measuring your arms around the bicep. I wish I had done that. I wish I'd done that when I started, because I've lost, I know I've got a bit of jiggle here, but I have lost absolutely loads off my arms, but I've got no way to measure that progress, other than when I'm putting on like my jackets or my shirts, it's really loose, but I don't know how many inches I've lost, although I know I've lost absolutely loads off my arms. Somebody said my arms the other day were scrawny, and I didn't know whether to take it as a compliment or not, and I thought I'm going to take it that what they really mean is I've lost loads of weight off my arms. So I was like, I'm taking that as a positive. But yeah, I wish I'd have measured my arms, but I didn't. The other area that is really popular is thighs. Again, the fullest part of your thighs. With your neck, with your thighs and your arms, go for both if you wish, because some people have different size arms and different size legs, so you know, you measure the progress in both. And also the neck. I didn't measure my neck, as I said. I only measured my waist, hips and my bust, but I wish I'd measured my neck, because again, I could see massive weight loss off my neck, whereas, you know, I've got no data to show how much I've lost there. So how often should we measure? And again, like with your photographs, up to you, but I would say maybe every month or two. If you're measuring every day, you're not going to see that progress, and that can be disheartening. But if it's every month or every two or every couple of months, then yeah, you're going to see the drops, and that can be really motivating. I will be honest with you, I haven't measured myself probably now for maybe a good 8 or 9 months. I haven't measured myself, but I'm okay with that, because I know that when I do measure myself, I'll probably measure myself maybe just before Christmas. Yeah, so it'll probably be about a year since I last took my measurements, and I'll see a big difference, and that will be really motivating for me. So yeah, but however often you like, but I would say not too frequently, because then you're going to see a much bigger shift in those measurements. Yeah. Okay, and then the third point that I was asked, really popular, is how often should I weigh myself? So taking photographs, taking our measurements are good measures of progress, but also so is the scale. The scale is, and it's not to undermine the scale. I think my issue with the scale is that the industry hinges a lot on the scales in terms of progress, and we know it's just so unreliable. So what I'd say is, this is going to be a personal one. Now, some studies suggest that weighing daily can be really effective for losing weight and maintenance. And the benefit of weighing daily is, people say it gives them accountability, and stepping on the scales every day can help them to make mindful choices and, you know, stay on track around their food. And if they see that they've gained a little bit, then it's like, right, I need to rein things back, pull things back. So it helps them with that accountability. Also, that early detection, if they see that those numbers are increasing day on day, it allows them to spot the gains and to make adjustments in their habits before it goes out of control. And over time, some people say that they come to understand the fluctuation, and they get to know their bodies, they know what leads to the fluctuation so they can avoid it, and their mindset isn't affected if they have a little gain. So that's the pros, that's the benefits of weighing regularly, daily. However, the disadvantages could, and again, this is going to vary for people, it could lead to mental and emotional impact. It can have an impact emotionally and mentally, because it can, for some people, lead to anxiety, anxiety, stress, and then obsession. You know, being really obsessed with the numbers, and that can hinder them, that can stop them in their tracks. And if they see a slight increase, it can demotivate them. If they see a small decrease, it can be like, well, I'm not getting enough results, and then people can spiral. But also, the other reason is when we weigh ourselves too frequently, it gives us misleading data, because we know that our weight can fluctuate by what we eat, by the weather, how much we drink, the amount of salt or sugar in our foods, whether we've been really active and we're carrying inflammation. It can really fluctuate. So again, you know, weighing daily can have that negative impact. But also, we know these things, like if we've had enough sleep, the hormone changes, all of these things can impact the scales, and that can lead to people being unsure as to whether or not they're making progress or not. So that's weighing daily. Some people find it helps, other people don't. And some people like a weekly weigh-in, and for that it gives them a more accurate picture over the course of a week, and they find that any daily fluctuations are ironed out, and it gives them a more accurate picture. And when they focus on the bigger picture of a week rather than every single day, it allows them to recognize their progress off the scales, and helps them to look at all the things that they've done throughout the week that might have contributed to that. You know, they might start to notice that slight shift in their clothes, their energy levels increasing, their strength is improved, and their mindset is in a better place. But also, some people say that when they weigh weekly, it's less stress instead of weighing daily. So that's the pros of weighing weekly. And some of the disadvantages of weighing weekly is you're not going to get that immediate feedback. And for some people, it's harder to stay accountable if you're just having that one weigh-in a week. Some people find that doing a mixture of both helps them. Maybe weighing every 2 or 3 days, and then other times weighing daily, and then other times still weighing weekly. But having that bit of a mix, depending on what's going on for you, can make that difference. For me personally, I can't deal with the daily weighing, and I can't deal with the weekly weighing. I really had to, when I started Manjaro, I started doing weekly weigh-ins because I needed to report my data to the NHS, and it's just done my head in. It's done my head in, and I can't. You'll notice on my channel I don't do my weekly updates because it was just too much for me. So for me personally, I'm at the point now where it's just whenever I feel the need to weigh, I will weigh in. So maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks I'll weigh in. Yeah, at one point it was just whenever the sun shone in the UK. I just put the scales away and yeah, just got on with the job. I would love to get back to that, but I have to take the data for the NHS because they're funding Manjaro, and at some point they're going to be asking me for it. So that's why I'm just trying to keep up with it. But other than that, I personally, and I know that I'm not the same as everybody, but personally, I'm way past the scale. Scale doesn't bother me at all. But yeah, but if you do want to weigh, and I would always recommend at the start of your journey to weigh yourself, choose a pattern that's going to work for you, that's not going to cause you anxiety, that's not going to give you stress, that's not going to lead you to becoming obsessed. Choose that and go with that, whatever works for you. But whatever you do, choose a consistent schedule. Whether it's you choose daily, weekly, fortnightly, monthly, or less often, then opt for the same day and at the same time as well, and under the same conditions. So maybe first thing in the morning, after you've used the toilet or the bathroom, and before you've had anything to eat and drink. Some people like to weigh with no clothes on, or weigh with just very light clothing on, and do the same thing. Yeah, don't one way wear your winter outfit and then next day you wear naked, you know, because you know, the once when I was a studio coach, I did a bit of an experiment and I took off my boots, my coat, my cardi and all my jewellery, and I put them on the scale, and they came in at about like £3, 3 or 4 pounds, I can't quite remember, it was about £3 or £4. Yeah, just like your jewelry and accessories. So yeah, you know, be consistent with what you wear. So if you are wearing your clothes, try and make sure it's the same clothes that you get your weighing in, so that it's consistent. um Track the trends. Track the trends, not so much the numbers. So if you weigh yourself daily, don't focus on the specific number that's given on that day. But if you use like an app or a spreadsheet, then you can track your movement, and what you're after is that downward trend. It might go up and down, might fluctuate up and down, but overall what you should be seeing is a downward trend. And the same with if you weigh weekly, you know, track the trends, look at the overall trends. What a lot of people in the weight loss industry do, including myself, we got caught up in the numbers. This week I'm up, and then it's easy to give up or get off track. Now look at the trends. Yeah, you might be up this week, but the next 3 weeks you might be down, and then 1 week you're up again, and the next week I had a girl, a client, and she'd weigh herself weekly, and for 3 weeks she would consistently lose weight, and then on the 4th week she would gain, and then she would lose for the next 3 weeks, and then she would have a gain. And it was interesting because we looked at her pattern. We were working out the pattern, and she definitely had a downward trend, but we looked at the pattern, and that pattern told us a lot, told us so much. And on the weeks that she'd gained, it was her cycle, her monthly cycle. So once we established that, she was like, thank you, Angela. Now that I know that, I'm not worried. I'm not freaking out. I'm not going to stress out that I've gained, because I know why. But whatever she was doing, all the habits that she'd put in place were working, because for 3 weeks after that, it was a downward trend. So look at the trends, track the trends, not so much the numbers. Whether you do that daily, weekly, or monthly, or like me, once in a blue moon. And you know, use those other metrics that we've talked about. The scales is just one measure, but combine it with other progress measures such as photographs and measurements. So there we go, guys. There we go. 3 absolutely cracking questions that I've been asked about different ways to measure the progress. And some people will use all of those taking measurements, photos, and using the scales. Some people might just opt for one or two. Other people might have more. You know, find what works for you, and then, you know, and the key is being consistent with whatever you choose. Be consistent, commit, be consistent. So guys, there we go. There we go. And thank you so much for being with me today. What I will do is this last chunk, I will break it up and I will put it out as a separate video. So feel free to catch it. So guys, if you're not subscribed, then please feel free to hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers. 3,000 subscribers. I would love for you to hit that subscribe button and come and join our community. And also, if you would like to be part of our membership, it's only $4.99 a month, and you're going to get invited to a live event with me where we can chat about all sorts of stuff. So guys, thank you so much for being here. If you're watching this live stream, feel free to go back up to the top at a later date, maybe today or tomorrow, and just watch it from the top. I would really appreciate that. If you're watching this as part of the video, then feel free to go in and check out some of my other content all about the health, well-being and wellness journey. So guys, what are you up to today? What are you up to? So today I'm going to be in the garden. In fact, I might make a video and show you the changes in my garden, because the garden is changing. It's so beautiful. So I think I might do that today. But other than that, I'm resting because I'm back at work tomorrow. So I'm just going to put my feet up, do some editing, listen to some audiobooks. Yeah, soak up some sun in the garden and just take it easy. Yeah, so guys, whatever you're doing, have a lovely, lovely, lovely day, and I'll see you soon. Take care now. Bye.